Hey YouTube, this is We All Juggle Knives. The topic of this video is going to be small little tools and implements that I've found that match up really well with certain models of Swiss Army knife and multi-tool. Alright, now if you saw my video from last week, I basically am on a little quest to find the best Swiss Army knives and multi-tools for my purposes after many years of just using the same old 20-year-old Swiss Army knife. So I've been doing a lot of research. There's a huge number of different models out there, and if you're like me, you've probably looked at all these Swiss Army knives and you find one that like just looks perfect, and then you see it's the perfect knife, but it's just missing one or two little tools that you find essential, okay? And so I wanted to be able to purchase those knives and not have to go without, the one or two tools. It just gives you a lot more options of what you can get. All right, so first off, this is a Victorinox Farmer. It's an awesome knife. Simple, no bullshit. It's not too wide. Has all the four basic tools from the old World War II pocket knives. Plus it has a saw. All right. Now I have found that the Farmer pairs up extremely well with either of these two multi-tools that a lot of people carry on the keychain. See, the problem with a Swiss Army knife and multi-tools is that oftentimes there's a lot of redundancy, so it's just inefficient sometimes to carry both when there's duplicate tools. So I'm trying to find stuff that there's not much redundancy. This basically does not have scissors. That'd probably be the most commonly used tool that this does not have, but it's very easy to find, to get scissors. A lot of people carry a Micra on their keychain, regardless of what else they carry. Right, and this is all about the scissors. These are some nice scissors. If they did put scissors on this, I don't know how big they would be, but this is probably better than some of the smaller scissors on a Swiss knife. Right, so this will give you your scissors. Also, it has tweezers. Alright, which this does not have. It has it has a nail cleaning tool, nail file, which again this does not have. And it has some has a little penknife, but it has some small flatheads. This has a large flathead and a medium, but it doesn't have the micro. Alright, so most of the tools on this are not redundant with this. So that's like a perfect little pair. Alright, so yeah, the Micra pairs up really well with this Farmer. The Squirt also pairs up pretty well too, because it has the pliers. Now they're only small pliers, and this has scissors too, but the scissors on this are nowhere near as big as the Micra. So it really depends. Do you want the really good scissors, or do you want some small pliers and some small scissors? And this also has a file, a metal file, which this does not have a file. So either the Squirt or the Micra pairs beautifully with the Farmer. Alright, but you probably already knew about those. Let's get into this next thing here, a file. Now this knife right here is a Wenger 23. It has all the four, the bottle opener, the can opener, the reamer, and the blade. It has all the four basic tools, and it also has a saw and scissors, and it even has a magnifier. One thing it doesn't have is a file. Now, you might not care about the file. I care about the file because knife guys, you know that a file is extremely useful in just doing little minor repairs on a knife. If you get a ding or if the tip breaks, and if you do throwing knives, a file is incredibly useful because throwing knives use very soft steel, and every single session you're going to have little nicks and dents and bends. All right, so if you're a knife guy, you probably do want a file. And so this is what I've come up with. This is a replacement file that you can purchase for $5. It's a replacement file for a Leatherman Surge. Oh, that is a little boo-boo. Yes, that's not dirt, that's a scab. Knife tried to cut me. But this is a file you can get for the Leatherman Surge. Now this is $5, and actually for your $5 you get the replacement file and you get a little saw. Now unless you actually have the multi-tool like the Surge, this is not that useful, this saw, because it's hard to use a saw without like a handle. But the mini file is actually pretty useful because you can still file things. I mean, it's, you know, it's small, but you can still file things without much of a handle. I put a little key ring on that in case. I would carry this in a pouch, like a Swiss Army knife pouch, just next to the knife. But you can also just carry it on a keychain if you don't use a pouch. Alright, so a super handy little file that costs all of $5. And now you can purchase, you know, all the Swiss Army knife models that don't have a file but that you really like. Alright, so the mini file, and this is also a better quality file than is on this. Okay, the squirt file, it does have a file, but you see the type of file that is, it doesn't have this like diamond coated part of the file. Okay, so that is a better file than on some mini tools. Okay, next up we have this IDL Tools Sebertech tool. It's a 5-in-1 tool, that's what it's called, Sebertech 5-in-1 multi-purpose tool. Now that goes really well with this knife. This is an awesome knife. This is the Victorinox Ranger. This knife has the 4 basic tools. The reamer is on the back. The 4 basic tools of the World War II knife, plus the big 3, which are the scissors, the wood saw, and the metal file. Now you're saying, wow, that just has everything. That's just perfect. It has everything except a Phillips screwdriver. Now you can get away with using that flathead on some Phillips screws. You actually can use that flathead on some. Alright, some but not all. You know, and I just, you know, I want the exact tool for the job as well. So, well, where do you get the Phillips? You get it at the end of this Sebertech, and also this has pliers. You know, this doesn't have the pliers, so that and the pliers, very good complement to this Ranger. And this is small. I mean, this, you could keep this on your keychain. Now this thing folds out. You know, the legs of it fold out like so. Alright, this is the Sebertech tool. Little pliers. You know, it's got the big pliers, the needle pliers, and the wire cutter, and then a flathead and a Phillips. So that's why they say it's a 5 tools in one. But yeah, this is perfect for this because now you got little pliers and you got that Phillips. And now, you know, this paired up with this, it's almost like you have the Swiss Champ. You know, it doesn't have like a fish scaler, but other than that, I mean, that is a great combo. Now this was around $7, this Sebertech tool. Very compact. There's the Phillips. And yeah, I mean, this is and it folds up like that. Yeah, awesome little addition, awesome little duo. Now here's just a super obvious one, the box cutter. This is a good box cutter because it's not going to accidentally deploy. Alright, when the blade is covered, it's covered. You can keep this in your pocket and it's not going to deploy. You basically have to push it hard against something to get the razor out and to put it back in. But the purpose of a box cutter is that, you know, a lot of people complain that a Swiss Army knife, it's not like a super hardened, super steel, you know, you have to resharpen it often. Well, cutting cardboard is just very hard on a knife edge in terms of it's going to dull your edge quickly. So instead of, you know, wasting that edge on cardboard, you can use a box cutter as an edge saver. And also, unfortunately, Swiss Army knives usually don't come with a blade that's optimized for draw cutting. There's one knife called the Electrician, the Victorinox Electrician, and it has a small secondary blade that would be very good for draw cuts. But unfortunately, that's the only Swiss Army knife I've seen that actually has like a forward tip or Wharncliffe sheep's foot for the draw cuts. You know, this is better for slicing. So until they start putting more of those blade shapes, there's still a lot to be said for also carrying a box cutter. I would carry it in the same pouch. You know, if you have a Swiss Army pouch, the box cutter is going to fit right next to it. All right, and those are my main recommendations: the file and the little screwdriver pliers, the box cutter, and of course these ones are, people mostly already know about this, but since I'm here, a lot of people carry, you know, tools, light, and fire. Well, this is your Countycom Peapod lighter, mini lighter, and this is a Bright Shine mini flashlight. You know, whatever you got, photon light, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people want to carry that too, so these would complement your Swiss Army knife very well. All right, well, hope you enjoyed the video, my little devils. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.